Hello, everybody. Rob Cootie here. As you know, today is going to be Tuesday, December 22nd, currently 10:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you know, we always go live 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's subject is going to be a good one, responding to tough income questions. How do you handle those? We're going to talk about that because you do not want to mislead your prospects, and you want to tell the truth, and you want to also get across to them the power of the money you're making without putting yourself in a legal situation. Join us today to learn how to make that happen. If you will, please, as always, share our podcast with our fellow network marketers across the globe. You can do that by utilizing hashtag the MLM Solution. You can see it in the ticker there below, hashtag the MLM Solution. If you will, share that with our fellow network marketers so they can find us on our various social media platforms, as well as join us when we go live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. That being said, I'm going to hop off of here. Marie and I'll be going live here very shortly. We look forward to today's episode. Please join us as we discuss this important subject.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Rob. I am doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, trying to stay warm. I see you're dressed warmer than me. I'm in a Duluth, Minnesota. I'm in a Duluth t-shirt, thick, quality,
nice.
Made in America.
I've got my Izod fleece going on.
Go. I have a lot of Izod stuff. I love Izod. Are they still around?
I have no idea. I've had this thing forever. I just like the fleece. It's warm and cozy.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to get my Izod at Dillard's and Macy's.
Oh, they're long gone. They are long gone.
We still have both here in Louisville, and along with one of my other favorite stores, the Van Mar. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Van Mar. It's kind of like a Neiman Marcus, the upscale, Bloomingdale's, things like that. Really cool. Three of my favorite stores: Dillard's, Macy's, and Van Mar. Anyway, enough of that. Okay, today is a good episode. And Miss Marie, it's number 99. I don't know if you noticed that. 99. And tomorrow's going to be 100. It's hard to believe that we have survived each other for 100 episodes.
That's hard to believe you've survived me for that long.
Oh, no. You've been a pleasure. An absolute blessing.
Did you imagine when you first asked me about coming on the show and co-hosting with you that we'd last this long?
No, I did not. I didn't know where it was going to go like anything else. I had hopes, of course. I knew it was going to take a while to catch traction. I'm going to say this. The YouTube universe, as much as I hate giving them credit, is large and vast. And to stick out, it takes time. And it takes strategy, and it takes good marketing. And you know what? It's like anything else. You got to stick with it. But I really did not even give thought to the fact we'd be here for 100 episodes. But you know what? As you know, we have been, especially the last couple of weeks, our numbers have really picked up. And we've always done well. We have spurts here or there where we'd have some real attention and then it kind of die off. But now we're getting consistent attention. So that's really encouraging going into the next year.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm excited. We've got a lot of good stuff coming down the pike too. So
yes, we do. And just to let you know, believe it or not, all the research that I have seen that I feel is comfortable information I could use and trust, it takes podcasts 3 to 5 years.
So it sounds like you're going to be stuck with me for a while.
And vice versa. But I mean, think about it. This week we have Christmas and 100 episode as well. And that's quite a combo there. So I'm really excited about this week. And we have good topics in short episodes. And hopefully that'll be a platform. And just to let you guys know in the future, as we continue to evolve this podcast, they are going to get longer. We may do more than one in one day. The reason I say that because we'll have interviews. We're going to have product highlights. Right now we're providing great content. We're doing that on purpose because we want you guys to know that we know what we're talking about. We want you to know that we're teaching the basics of the fundamental basics of the business building process. And as we always tell you guys, the truth never changes, meaning when you're teaching the basics never change. If you go back to our very first episode all the way through, you will notice that we're talking about the same things over and over and over in different capacities because we talk about different techniques and strategies and things like that. But the basics that we all talk about all the time are the same and it will always be the same. I don't care if we're here for 1,000 episodes. It will be the same because they never change. The truth never changes. So with that being said, that should excite you. And that's the reason why we're doing what we're doing. We are highlighting things that you need to know, things you can use right away to make a huge difference in your business, not just a small one. We're talking a huge difference in your business right now. And we want you to be able to do that because we want you to know what we bring to the table. So as we grow, the time that our podcast will be probably go to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, but it's going to be broken up into segments to where you're going to really enjoy them because we'll have interesting people on. We'll have product highlights. We'll also go deeper in some other things. So there's a lot of good things coming down the road. Right, Miss Marie?
And I'm excited about that. But today, here we are, episode number 99. We're talking about responding to income questions. And part of the reason this topic kind of bubbled up to the top for this week is it's a little bit timely in that people are coming to the end of the year. There's preparation for taxes happening, maybe some budgeting getting done for the coming year. So people are thinking about finances and how to plan for income and those types of things. And this is one of those questions that pops up, and rightfully so, because nobody goes into a job or a career not having an idea of the level of income they can earn, correct? Yep. So as we're talking about the network marketing industry, and you're reaching out to people with your music to the ears message, and you start engaging them in conversation, when you get to the point of, what questions do you have for me? I would say if this is not the number one question, it often falls in the top 3 is people will ask, well, what are you making? Or it may be phrased differently. It may be, well, what can I make in this business? What are the possibilities? And how do we respond to those? How do we best address those? And that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, exactly. And these are questions that could get you in trouble, not only legally, but ethically as well, and really hurt your reputation if you don't handle these tough questions easily. We did an episode earlier on the tough questions that prospects ask, which dipped a toe into this subject. That episode did not go deep into this subject matter. It's the reason why we're doing it today, because we realize that this subject deserves its own podcast so that we can go into this a little bit, because there's so many bad things that could happen if you don't handle this correctly. As Miss Marie stated, a lot of people will sit and listen to your music to the ears message, okay? And a lot of savvy people that have inquisitive minds, or maybe they've been burned before, so they want to ask questions, to the point questions. They want to see how quick your response is. They want to see how confident you answer that question. They want to see if you squirm in your seat. They want to see if you stutter with your words, because they don't want to be taken advantage of, and they want to ask the questions that will reveal what is really going on here. And as Miss Marie stated, some of those questions are going to revolve around, well, how much money are you making? Now, that is a question that can get you in real trouble if you answer, I'm making X amount per month. Okay, there has been a law passed years ago in the mid to late 80s, I believe it was, or maybe early 90s. I can't remember. It's been so long ago. And typically what the judge said was, if you showed a check, because it used to be when Miss Marie and I first came in the industry, showing your check. And the reason people did that wasn't necessarily to entice you. They wanted you to know, hey, it's got my name on it. Here's the amount. This is what I made this month. You can see the date on it. They were showing proof of the income because they wanted you to know, hey, I know what I'm doing. I am successful at this, and here is the proof of it. Okay, and I thought that was awesome. But here's the thing. A judge said, no, you can't do that. And here's why. Because doing such implies that Rob can do what Marie did. Marie shows me a check for $4,500. She made that in her second month. She caught lightning in a bottle. She, rightfully so, is going to say, Rob, you can do this too, because you can't tell me, Rob, that I can't do it. You don't know if I can't do it. I have just as much a possibility creating that $4,500 in the second month as she did. She doesn't know if I can do it or not. So she just, being positive, being uplifting. She says, hey, you can do this too. I did it. I'm nothing special. You can do it too. This business model is fair and equitable to everybody. If they work it right, they're going to get results. Okay. So there's a chance you can do this too, Rob. Well, judge said, hey, you can't do that, because what you're implying is that not only can Rob do it, but everybody else that comes in can achieve that same thing. And obviously that's not true, because guess what? 97, 98% of the people coming in this business are not going to do that. So on one hand, I didn't agree with the judge's assessment, but on the other hand, I understood where he was coming from. He was right in saying, hey, if you show that, you're implying that they can do that same amount. And so anyway, that's the reason why they can get you in hot water. You do not want to do that. You say, well, if I tell them verbally, well, guess what? It's the same thing. Okay. They will apply those same rules, because once again, you're saying in my second month, I made $4,500. Okay. And that can get you in legal trouble, and you don't want to do that. Okay. So if somebody says, well, Rob, how much are you making? You can say, well, look, I haven't worked in 6 months. I just moved into a new 3,000 square foot home, and I just bought a new car, or I just paid off X amount of debt, $4,500 worth of debt. Okay. And you can say those things because those are real life examples of the success that you're having. And there's nothing wrong with, you're not implying anything with those statements. You're stating fact. This is what I did. This is how it applied to me. Okay. And I'm not saying, hey, you can do this too. I would not say that to them. What I would just say, this is what I've accomplished in this short time frame. And I've only been with this company for, 2 months, 4 months, whatever. Okay. And what I can say is I can say, hey, I can teach you how you can build this business. Obviously, I've done it successfully. I can teach you to build it successfully too. If you notice, I'm not saying I can teach you how to get a new home. I can teach you how to get a new car. I can teach you how to make $4,500. I'm not getting specific. It's not because I'm trying to avoid that. It's because of the legal possibilities, okay, ramifications of that. And if they said, well, how come you're not being more specific? Guess what? I'm going to tell them exactly what I told you guys. Here's what happened. I'm going to have to look that date up in that case, because you want to be specific. Hey, in June of 1988, this judge in California, Florida, wherever he was, stated the following. And so I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to mislead you. Here's what I've accomplished in this time frame. I've done that. Okay. And I was not able to do that before. So I obviously know how to make this business model work, and I can show you how it works, and you might be able to do the same thing. And if you notice, I use the word might. Okay. Now, this is all part of this learning that we're talking about. This is a deep dive into this, because you're responding to their income question in a legal and ethical manner. You're telling them about the success you're having, but you're not being specific, because you don't want to put yourself in a legal situation, okay, where you could possibly get sued for implying that they could do exactly what you did, which is buy another house, get another car, because that may not be the case. But you did tell them, hey, I can teach you how to use this business model and be successful in it as well. That is a true statement, because if they make one check, guess what? They were successful. Why? Because 98% of the people typically fail in this business. Getting one check is a step in a successful path. Okay. So I hope I made that clear. Did I, Miss Marie?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's an incremental process, right? This is not a job where you're exchanging time for money. Just because you put in a bunch of time this week doesn't mean you're going to get X amount of dollars out on Friday. So, and the other thing I like to point to too, when talking about this is what I train people to do in building this business, is to build towards 10,000 in volume. And if you look at our compensation plan, when you hit 10,000 in volume, this is what you earn income wise. And that's, again, we're after just the straight, what's that check coming to you? Not extra trips, not extra bonuses, not any type of car bonus, any of that kind of thing. But, be specific about how your organization is being trained to build the business, what the goal is, how achievable that is. And depending on how long you've been in the business, you can talk about the fact that, I have 5 people in my organization at 10,000 volume or better a month. Or you could mention that, I was able to get to 10,000 volume in 8 months, whatever the number was that it took. But again, you want to be honest and forthright in communicating the message. And I think one of the keys that Rob really hit on here too is being comfortable with what you're communicating to people. So it comes across as being confident, that you don't hesitate in your response, that you're not fumbling around for words, that it doesn't look like you're trying to make it up on the fly or make it sound good on the fly. You want the same consistent answer with everyone who asks the question, which is why we're telling you, if you haven't already encountered the question, you're going to get it. So you can 100% anticipate it, be ready for it, have kind of an answer, loaded and ready to go, so you can respond quickly and confidently to it.
That's right. And I was going to, you beat me to the punch, and awesome that you did, because I was going to build up to that exactly, the 10,000 group volume, because guys, that's the perfect answer. What I'm doing is giving you multiple prong answers that are legal and ethical and honest, so that if you can choose which one you want to use. I agree with Miss Marie. The best way to answer something like that is this. Well, look, I'm using a proven business building system that creates 10,000 group volume, and have a copy of the comp plan and push it out there and say, they're teaching me, or I'm working with Marie, who's been in this industry for 30 years, and she knows how to make this work. And she has this very simple 5-step program that creates this 10,000 group volume. And so that's what I'm building towards. And you can see what I get on a regular monthly basis when I do that. And you can use that, and that is really rock solid, specific proof. Okay. And if they say, well, because you're staying away from monetary, other than showing them what the pay plan will pay, and that's the company pay plan. So you're not putting yourself in a legal situation. But if they say, well, where are you? You can say, well, I'm at $5,800 per month, and I'm in my second month. And they can say, wow, to themselves, wow, that's pretty good. They're over halfway there, and they're just in their second month. And they can deduct themselves basically how much money that's going to be when you get paid. That is the ideal way to stay away from the legal ramifications of using the wrong words in the other example I gave you, right? And at the same time, you're saying that you're working with someone. Because one of the biggest challenges people have, Miss Marie, is when they're new to the business and they say, well, I don't have any success. I haven't made any money. And they say, what do I say to those people? This is what you say right here. I'm working with Miss Marie. She's been in this business for this long. She uses a simple 5-step process that creates this 10,000 group volume. And here's what I get paid. And that's what I'm working towards. I'm in my second month, and I've created 5,800 of that 10,000. And this is what, I'm trying to accomplish right here. Well, bam. I mean, you talk about specific, you talk about a confident, quick, and to the point response to their question about what you're doing. In other words, how much money you're making. That immediately tells you what to say, what to pull out paperwork wise, which is a copy of the comp plan, and just push it out there and say, this is what I'm doing. And I'm just doing these 5 simple steps. That's it. There's nothing else.
I think one of the big keys too is having that ability to point to who you're working with, the level of success and the level of experience they have. Because remember, once again, one of the things we talk about is speed and urgency. You want to get going in your business right away. So you're going to start reaching out to people. You may be in week 1 and you're reaching out to somebody, you're having that conversation, and this question is going to come up. Well, gosh, I'm in week 1. I haven't even seen my first check yet. But you can still come out with that. Here's the system we're following. We're shooting for 10,000 group volume. I'm working with Rob. He's been at this for, a couple decades now. He's got tons of experience helping people.
That's it. Made me feel older.
Achieve this level of success. This is what I'm working for. I'm confident this is going to work, and I know it can work for you too. And as long as you're laying out that plan, being direct in your answer, being forthright, it should work without a problem. If they're going to press for actual monetary response, you can fall back on the fact that, for legal reasons, I really can't give you that kind of answer. Because it doesn't matter. I could be making $50,000 a month and you could surpass that, or you may never even make $50 because I don't know you. I don't know what kind of effort you're going to put into this business. I don't know what kind of skill set you're bringing in on the front end. It may take me 2 months to get to 5,800 in volume. It may take you 2 days. I mean, who knows? You can't prognosticate and project those types of answers.
Right. Exactly. And if somebody says, because usually you're going to have this conversation, guys, in the second follow-up. Remember, you're going to control the whole process. When you have the initial meeting, it is nothing more than music to the ears message. Your whole meeting with them shouldn't last but 15 minutes because you're going to schedule one appointment after the other, and you're going to tell them in advance, I only have 15 minutes. When you set up your initial briefing, if I run into Miss Marie and she says, Rob, this sounds really interesting, I'd like to get together. And I'll say, Miss Marie, I've got December 28th. I have 20 minutes from 1 to 1:20 because I have a 1:40 appointment at the Starbucks on so-and-so road, okay, with another person. So I've got 20 minutes, and I can briefly tell you what's going on, not to put you off, but in this business, you have to move quickly. Okay. And you may not understand that now, but it's all about speed and urgency. So it's imperative that I keep moving forward and every person gets the same 20 minutes. Okay. And what are you doing? You're communicating with them. You're telling them up front what to expect when that meeting is there. Guys, you got to, as we told you before, you got to have your schedule laying on the table there in front of them, so that they can see your next appointment. They can see that you're not pulling their leg. You're not going to push it out underneath their nose, but you're going to have it in plain sight where they can see that your calendar book is full. Okay. And they're going to say, wow, this person's really on a roll. They're going to be more impressed with your speed and urgency than they are going to be. They're not going to be offended. They're going to be impressed is what I'm trying to say. Okay. So the thing is that they might be really excited. They say, well, I've got some questions. That's great. Let's set up a follow-up where I have more time. Okay. And so then when you set up the follow-up, you say, hey, I got a half hour, 35 minutes, whatever you set up. But remember, the longer the follow-ups, the longer the meetings, they tend to turn into socials. And what are you doing? You're creating duplication in a negative way. Why? Because you're not going to create speed and urgency. Instead of talking to 10 people in a follow-up on that day, you're only going to be able to talk to 6 or 7 because you got into a social call and you're teaching them when they join to do the same thing. So your whole business, that whole leg starts to slow down. That's the reason why you don't do that. So I just want to throw that in there real quick. Now back to what we were talking about the thing about communication. It's always about being honest in communication. If you are the type of person like myself, and I've been around the industry for a while, and I come back into the industry. I'm starting out from new. I'm not bringing anybody in. I meet Miss Marie. And she says, well, how, what's your first check, whatever. And I said, well, you know what? I haven't made my first check. This is my first week, but I've been in the industry for 30 years. I have always utilized the basics of the business building process. There's just 5 simple steps. It allows me to leverage my time, my talents, my abilities to the maximum. I use those basics because they've been around since the 60s, and they have proven themselves at every level of the business. And then I go into my music to the ears message, okay? And I say, here's what's going on, and I deliver the message, okay? And then I tell her, I say, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm using this system as in the music to the ears message to create the 10,000 group volume. That's the reason why I have not got my first check, is because I haven't reached this level yet. This is a threshold moment, this 10,000 group volume. You may not understand that, but that's what I'm shooting for. I've done it many times before. So I delivered the music to the ears message, but because she asked that question, I elaborated and communicated with her a little bit more, because in past episodes, we focused solely on you delivering, mastering, and owning the words of the music to the ears message. We did that for a reason. We wanted that episode to focus on that specific thing. In this right here, obviously your meetings sometimes are going to have questions. Your goal is not to answer a lot of questions during your initial meeting, especially if they ask about the product, the comp plan, all that. What do? You send them the company website. You tell them, I'm a professional business builder. I do not worry about those things. I'm building a business. I'm looking for partners who want the lifestyle and the money. Okay, you communicate that to them. You can go to the website. You can learn that yourself. On a follow-up, I'll answer more detailed questions, okay? I'm not avoiding your questions. I want you to get the answers you want. In the company, I don't worry about the company products, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we've talked about that in the past. But if Miss Marie comes up and she says, how much are you making? I can immediately go into, I've only been with this new company for a week, and then I go into my experience. I go into the music to the ears message and follow it up with the 10,000 group volume. Right, Miss Marie?
Absolutely. Essentially the same path. I mean, it's the proven method of making it work, and it really is the simplest way to respond to these income type of questions. Right.
In the scenarios we gave you here, look, Miss Marie brought it up. You've been in the business for 1 week, and you've never been in network marketing. What do? You defer to Miss Marie. She's been in there for 30 years. She's using the 5 simple steps. She's shooting towards the 10,000 group volume. Here's why. Here's what we get paid at that point. That's the reason why. And you slide the comp plan over to them. Okay. That's if someone's new to the business. Okay. Whether they've been in a week or whether they've been in a month. Okay. When they're prospecting, that's what they do. They haven't gotten their first check. Now, if you're somebody that has been in the business for a while and you're in your 2nd, 3rd month of business building and they ask you that question, you can say, hey, I'm in my 3rd month. Here's where I am. I'm creating 5,800 group volume. Here's the comp plan. That's what I'm getting paid. Okay, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm using 5 simple steps, blah, blah, blah. If I'm a veteran and I'm just coming back in the industry and I tell them that and I've only been in it a week, then guess what? I do the same thing. I defer to the 10,000 group volume, the 5 simple steps, and then I deliver the music to the ears message. There's 3 different examples there of you being at different stages of this business and what to say. And as you can tell, you're always telling the same thing. Basically, why? Because you're telling the truth, and the truth never changes. That is your goal. What did we talk about all the time? 10,000 group volume. That is your goal. Okay, and that's what you're.
I was just going to hop in here and say, too, again, it's also about the duplication. You're leading by example. You're teaching by example. This is the way you're responding to them on your initial communication. This is the way they're going to hear you respond as you train others. And this is the way you want them to respond as they start building their business. It's consistent, it's concise, and it's the easiest way to go, and it's duplicatable.
That's right. There it is. So you keep it that simple. You keep it to that point, and guys, you're on your way. And that way you never have to worry about it. If you use these things that we're talking about, you don't have to sit at night chewing on your fingernails saying, oh my gosh, if they ask me how much I'm making, what do I say? I'm new to this business. I don't know how to answer that. What do I say to them? Now you know what to say. Okay. And this is the most, I'll be honest with you, Miss Marie, this is the most foolproof way I can't think of any other thing that you could say, guys, that would not get you in trouble or mislead people or make you uncomfortable where you're stuttering. These 3 examples that we gave you are all essentially same, all varying in small degrees because of your time in this company or time in the business. And guess what? It all defers to the 10,000 group volume, the 5 simple steps. And it either leans on Miss Marie's experience or it doesn't. And you're being honest and upfront with them, and you can own those words very well because you're telling the truth. When you're telling the truth, you typically don't stutter looking for words to say, right, Miss Marie? It kind of flows right off. You're just like, hey, this is what's going on, right? And people love the truth.
Yeah, it's projecting that confidence as you're communicating because you're comfortable with the answer.
There you go. Okay, so if we're going to recap real quick, which we're going to do, guys, here's the thing. No matter how long you've been in the business, if you're working with someone that has experience, okay, defer to them, 10,000 group volume, 5 simple steps. Okay, if you're a retread, same thing. If you're not making any money, hey, this is what I'm shooting for. I've done it before. Here's my experience. I've been using these 5 simple steps. They've been around for 60 years, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you're in the business for 2-3 months, whether you're a veteran or a newbie, and you've created 5,800 points out of 10,000, you say, this is what I've done. Here's the 5 simple steps I'm using. And you deliver the music to the ears message to cap it off. And then they're either interested or they're not. And you'll get a follow-up or not. So that's to summarize what we talked about here. And if you go back and listen to this episode, we just gave you exactly what to do in these situations when they ask you this tough question. All right, Miss Marie?
Absolutely. And this is the type of information you need to help build your business and to be successful. And the other thing we provide to you, of course, if you come visit our website, themlmsolution.net, we have several free gifts currently available to you, including the 4 critical mistakes most network marketers make and how to avoid them. Very important. You don't want to hit these pitfalls. Save yourself a whole lot of time, money, effort, and heartache by taking advantage of the experience of those who have gone before you and already made the mistakes, so you can skip them. This is probably my favorite product out of the 3. Then we have the 5 simple steps to success, along with 0 to Network Marketing Hero that gives you the complete overview. Again, you can find those at themlmsolution.net. Download those free gifts, share those with the folks in your organization, because again, it's about duplication. It's about having that same information available. And then TikTok, we're running out of time. The end of the year is approaching. We have our Black Friday special available. There is a link right on our website. You can grab that, or you can go directly themlmsolution.net/Super Friday. And we call it Super Friday because that is a promotion for our Super Pack. All the information you could need and then some, drastically discounted. It normally retails for $299.95. You can right now on our Black Friday special get it for just $49.95. Huge.
That's crazy.
Say that again.
That's crazy numbers.
Yeah, that's like an 83% discount. If you can show me any other business that's giving you over an 80% discount on any of their products, I would love to see what they are, because I might need to go buy that too.
I know. She gives me hell over that all the time. My gosh, man, how are we going to make money if you keep giving stuff away?
Yeah,
I totally get it. And guess what, Miss Marie? Tomorrow is our 100th episode. The excitement and positive effects of live events. If you've never been to a network marketing live event, it is special. I mean that in a good way, a special way. It is a lot of fun. Meet a lot of great people, develop lifelong friendships. And I'm not even talking about the business side, but this is a people business. And when you have that kind of excitement and buzz and electricity in the air, you will have positive results if you approach it correctly. So we're going to talk about that. And if you've never heard the term build towards events, you're going to want to join us, because we're going to talk about that as well. Really important stuff tomorrow. You do not want to miss it. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we're going to be live. We're going to stream to our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. And if you will, please like and comment on our various social media platforms, and while you're there at our YouTube channel, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and then hit the bell twice. That way you get notified when we go live as well as when we upload new content. And finally, as you know, I'm still looking for that dancing bear, but we're getting plenty of thumbs up, so we really appreciate it. People have been doing it during the live events as well as going to our YouTube channel, and people have been hitting the likes as well, Miss Marie, on our Facebook page. We're grateful for that. We thank you guys all the time for that. We could never say thank you enough, because our success on our platforms are dependent upon you and your activity. If you like what you hear, if you see where the content we're sharing with you is going to help you build your business and have a positive impact on your business, give us a thumbs up. It lets us know that we're hitting the nail on the head, and we really appreciate that in advance. As she said, visit our website, please, themlmsolution.net. You'll see a lot of great stuff there, those free gifts. You'll see the image for the Super Friday. Don't miss out on that. And if you will, once again, we're going to ask you to help us out. Hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution. That way you can help us get the word out to our fellow network marketers across the world so that they can utilize this great business model along with this wonderful information to do something special for themselves and their families. With that being said, Miss Marie, I think we're ready to call it a day. Remember, guys, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be around for our next episode. As I said before, it is going to be a good one. And it'll be number 100 for us, Miss Marie. 100. Can you believe it? And it is, once again, let me get it up on the screen. I don't know why it's not working. Let's see what's going on here. It does not want to participate. I don't know what it's doing. Let's try it again.
There it is.
There we go. I don't know what was going on there. Anyway, there it is, 100, episode 100. We're excited about it. Join us tomorrow. Help us get the numbers out there for our 100th episode. We really appreciate it. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. We look forward to it.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.